I don't know if it's three, two, one, and we are live. Good morning, everyone. Streaming from all over the world today, from Vancouver and from India, is ourselves, Python Simplified and Geeks for Geeks. Welcome, everyone. I would like to introduce you guys to Prakash Sakari. Did I say it right, Prakash?
Yeah, you are right. You are right. Prakash
Awesome.
Sakari.
Ah, perfect. Prakash, tell us a bit about yourself.
So, hello everyone, and namaste from India. My name is Prakash Sakari. I work as a mentor, especially web development mentor at Geeks, and I have more than 4.5 years of teaching experience, and I've trained more than 20-30,000 students all across India, US, UK, and a lot of other countries. I do artificial intelligence, machine learning, and web development hand in hand. That's about me. Now coming to about my company. So the name of my company is Geeks. So Geeks for Geeks basically started in the year 2009. So Geeks for Geeks started basically as a company which used to publish articles about computer science. So anything, any questions that you have related to computer science, be it in Python or Java or C++, or even the legacy, right? Even in PHP and all the things, you will find it on Geeks for Geeks, because we have been writing articles since 2009. Then after that, we started with something called as a practice page, where you have a lot of DSA questions. Because if you want to go into a product company or a good time company as a developer, you need to know some bit of DSA, and if you want to get good packages, then you need a lot of hardcore DSA. So we have a page called as a practice page, where we do a lot of DSA. Every day we have a new problem, which is called as problem of the day. Then there is something called as interview series, which goes hand in hand. And we have partnered with big time companies like Amazon, where Amazon conducts a jobathon, right? It's on 21st of every month. So today was the period of the test. So basically, a lot of
Nice.
companies participate in it, and they you get a chance to be selected in Amazon or different other companies through our job portal. Then we have a lot of courses as well. So me myself, I am the team lead of web development team, and there are a lot of people who work under me, and we have a lot of good courses. And all the courses basically are student friendly. So we do not have uh, much costlier courses, but very student friendly, pocket friendly courses, I can say.
Hmm. And
Where you
simplified as
only
well.
simplified as well,
Also
just like
important.
the name of your channel, Python Simplified. We have a lot of web simplified courses. And I would actually like to share my screen, and also show it to everyone, like so. uh,
Absolutely.
just give me a second.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. So I just wanted to let you guys know that DSA is data structures and algorithms.
Mm.
Sometimes it is called algorithms and data structures. That's why it's a bit confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's what Prakash was talking about.
Right,
It's
right, right.
I had an exam in DSA just a few days ago. It was the
Mm-hmm.
hardest exam I ever I ever had. I don't know how much I got. I usually have a good feeling. This time I'm not sure.
So yeah, I think I'm not able to share the screen, but it's okay. So I'll
No?
put the link in the chat. I
Oh,
think
absolutely. You know what? I'm
yeah,
gonna share it. I'm gonna do
yeah,
it. I have
yeah,
Geeks
yeah.
for Geeks here. Now, the funny thing about Geeks for Geeks is that actually, Prakash, I'm gonna show the website, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to hide you a bit. My apologies about that. There you go. So this is Geeks for Geeks, and it's funny because
right.
no matter what you Google, no matter what you're looking for, that it comes to computer science, Geeks for Geeks will appear in one of the top links, time
Exactly.
and again, which is really really cool. Now, Prakash, guide me. What did you want to show?
Okay, so the first thing basically is this this website. So this basically it's like an article website, a blog website, where you'll find everything. You'll find basically structured courses. These are written courses. Then you
Mhm.
also get video courses, right? If you go on to practice, if you go on to
There
the
you go.
practice, right? and let's say, yeah, click on anything. So you come on this page. So this is a practice page. There is something called as on the left hand side. If you see, there are questions according to the companies as well: Amazon, Microsoft,
Mm,
Flipkart. There is a
nice.
curated list of questions. There are SDC sheets. You can also see something called as Love Bubber sheet. So these are sheets of popular influencers in India, right? And you can solve all of these questions, and
Cool.
select your difficulty level as well. If you see on the top, there is something called as interview series and something called as jobathon. So this interview series
Wow.
is, yeah, so this happens once every week, and this helps you to be prepared. So all of this is for free. So you not charge
Nice.
anything for any of these things. This is completely free. And if you see on the top, there is something called as POTD as well. So this is problem of the day. So every day we have a new problem, and at the end of the day, our mentors basically help you in solving all of these questions. So these are the things that GFG provides. Everything for free. You can practice your DSA, get strong with your DSA, come in the interview series, appear for the interview series, and all of these things just for free. And
That's
the
awesome.
important thing that we have is called as courses. So if you go on the top left, if you can go on to courses, right? So these are the different courses with categories wise. So if you see, there is DS and algorithm, courses on development as well, right? So these are DSA courses, right?
Hmm.
So
Perfect.
quite
And you have
pop.
some free courses as well.
Yeah, there are free
Nice.
courses, right?
Nice.
And if you go back, if you can go back onto courses again, right? If you see, there is development as well, and then there's for gate, there's for interview
Hmm.
preparations, and all of these things as well. So if you click on development, there are a lot of free courses on the web development as well. So if you
Which
see,
ones
there
are
are,
yours, Prakash?
yeah, mine is coming. So
Coming?
mine is the first
Okay.
one, the
Stay
full stack
tuned.
develop, yeah, the first one, full stack development with the React and Node.js live class.
This one.
So
Ah.
in this I have a lot of projects. So my personal project which I've made are there in this, and then there are multiple courses that I'm coming with, courses on JavaScript, courses on Node.js, and all of these
Mm.
things I'm coming with.
That's awesome. Cool. So let me get you
Right,
back on screen, Prakash. There you go. Oh, and I need to get myself back on screen because I kind of moved.
right.
I kind of made myself look a bit smaller. Awesome. Well, as you guys may guess, this stream is entirely dedicated for job search and to help you find your career path in this
Mhm.
amazing world of high tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. So I'm very happy that you guys have all these practices specifically targeting interviews and companies that are
Hmm.
big tech. Now,
Right.
I have a set of questions for you, Prakash. I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
These
Yeah, I
questions,
am.
I gather them from viewers. For
Mhm.
a very long time, they've been asking me, Maria, I need some career advices. And I can't give them advices. I'm just a student. So I was hoping to get somebody on board who has much more experience than myself. Super happy to
Mhm.
have you here.
My
Now,
pleasure.
let's begin with some questions. And after we are done with the questions, we're going to take a look at the comments as well. So definitely let us know if you
Mhm.
have anything else coming up. But yeah, I prepared some really nice questions too. So question number one: do you need academic credentials to be a successful candidate in tech jobs?
Okay. So over the years, this has changed a lot, right? Earlier, there was, a buzz that you require so and so academic credentials, you require this and this degree, right? You have to be an engineer or a computer science graduate, or you need to have masters or anything in a particular field in order to get a job as a developer. But over the years, this has changed a lot, because right now companies are not focusing on uh, your academic credentials. It does not matter if you have a degree in finance. It does not matter if you have a degree in marketing. It does not matter at all. Right now companies are only looking for skills. So
Hmm.
for example, we as a company, right, so now, since I am a team lead, I hire a lot, right? I do a lot, I take a lot of interviews. Now when I take a lot of interviews, I'm not looking at their academic credentials at all. I just
Nice.
see what are their skills. So for me, I am looking at web developers. So I see whether they know React JS, whether they know JavaScript, whether they know Node, whether they know HTML, CSS. If they know all of these things, I shortlist them, and then I ask them questions according to that. and I don't even look at their past experience. So this has happened with me as well, right? Prior to this, I was an artificial intelligence and machine learning engineer, right? I was not a web developer prior to this. I used to do Python was my world. My world used to revolve around Python. When I decided to switch into web development, the companies didn't ask me about, uh, what is your academic credentials, or what is your past experience, but they asked me, do you have the relevant skills? Do you
Mhm.
know to create a website using, given a challenge, given to create a component or a feature? Are you able to create that? Can you create a product listing page for us? Can you write the logic to add a product to cart? Can you do all of these things? So I said yes, I can do it. So they were like, okay, then let's take an interview. That's how my interview went ahead, because I had the relevant skills. So if you have the relevant skills, if you know for not only for web development, for any field, even if you want to go to data science, or into deep learning, if you have the niche, if you have the relevant skills, if you can build projects with those skills, right? If you can solve problems, because developers are problem solvers, right? So I do not want someone who just have a piece of degree, but I want someone who can actually solve my problem. So if you are the one who can solve the problem, then your academic credentials do not matter at all, and you will surely get a very, very good job.
Perfect, perfect. This is my kind of answer because
Yeah.
this is a question I get all the time. A lot of folks
Hmm.
who are watching Python Simplified are self taught developers. I was a
Right.
self taught developer myself before I
Hmm.
started an
Hmm.
official degree. But yeah, this is really really cool, and I'm happy that when you are hiring, you're not really checking all of this. Now,
Right.
from what it sounds, the demand is so high, and academic credentials, just because you know the theory, doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily mean that you can apply it as
Hmm.
an experience. This answer, even for myself, I can
Hmm.
apply now. Perfect. So let's move on to the next question. Now, this one is going to be very interesting. Are there any programming languages that are a bit more, that will give you an advantage when you are searching for jobs? Is there anything specific that everybody needs to learn to land their job of their dreams?
There are a lot of programming languages which give you a lot of edge when you're actually applying for a job. So, for example, let's say I want to become a data scientist, right? So we know that the heart of a data scientist, the programming language is Python, right?
My kind of answer.
right right now right now we are doing it with Python. When I was also doing 3 years back, I was also doing it with Python. There is no other language which gives you that much support as Python does. There is JavaScript, there is C as well, because Python is being basically built on C++. It takes a lot of bindings on C++, but Python is used a lot, right? Every library is built in Python. Every other package is built in Python and gives you a lot of functionality. So you have to first come to a point about deciding your niche, deciding where basically you want your career, where you want to see your career, and where you are heading. So if you're someone who's heading into data science and all of these domain, then your language is Python. It will give you a lot of edge. If you're someone who is into development, right, web development, all of these things, then your language is obviously JavaScript. But if you're
Mhm.
someone who is actually not looking for web development, data science, you are just focused on a particular company. Like if you want, like I want to go to Google or Microsoft or Amazon, something like that, then you need a lot of DSA, right? And for
Mhm.
DSA, so there is no preferred language as such, right? A lot of people say that DSA can be done only in C++ or Java, but that's actually, for me, I consider it's not it's an incorrect answer, because language is just a tool, it's just a medium. Yes, there are languages which are classified according to their performance, like C++ gives a great performance boost than Python. So does Java, but that does not mean that Python is slow. That does not mean
Absolutely.
that JavaScript is slow. If JavaScript was slow, then the web would not be working, right? You have to think in
Exactly.
that way. In
We
the
wouldn't
same
be
way,
streaming now so easily.
right, exactly, exactly. In the same way, if Python was slow, then you would not have got your, Netflix recommendation and all of these recommendations, because it works with Python, right? So I have to come to that point. So you just have to decide your niche and take the programming language accordingly. And it's just a tool. Programming language is just a tool. Once you learn Python, or any other language, you can just switch on to different languages. For me, learning JavaScript was not difficult, because I had spent a lot of time in Python. 2.5 years I spent in Python. So when I had to learn JavaScript, I was just going through the documentation of MDN.
Mhm.
I went to the documentation. I understood what JavaScript is. So just think that language is just a tool, and just do not get into that rat race of learning different programming languages. Just stick to one programming language. You can do everything with Python. You can do DSA. You can do your data science and all the things. Similarly for JavaScript as well. So just focus on what you want, where you want to see your career, and pick a language accordingly to that.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. When it comes
Mhm.
to algorithms and data structures,
Mhm.
we very often don't really implement it with a language. We use pseudocode, which is a universal form of language, and I absolutely
Mhm.
love it. In our courses in university, we have the pseudocode, and then we can
Mhm.
implement it in whichever
Mhm.
language we'd like. I always go for Python, but you can go for C++, JavaScript. For me, I had a similar journey, but I was the other way around. I learned a lot of JavaScript and I learned it
Mhm.
as a self taught developer. And then when I encountered Python, it's like I discovered a gold mine because it took all the things that I didn't like about JavaScript and it solved them. I guess the semicolons in the end of the expression, that's what drove me crazy. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm super happy that your journey was somewhat similar in terms of language learning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And
Mhm.
just if for in case that you guys are just starting your programming journey, Mozilla Development. What was MDS stands for?
MDN stands for Mozilla Development.
Network or something. They,
Yeah,
they have a
something like that.
third world. This Mozilla
Mozilla
is the
Developer Network, something like that, right?
absolutely okay. These are the
Yeah,
guys behind Firefox, basically, right?
exactly. Right, right.
Awesome. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, we're getting
Mhm.
even more serious. How many
Yeah.
projects should a professional portfolio have? And let's skip the what type of projects part because we already kind of talked about it. Find your niche and then decide.
Mm.
But how
Yeah.
many is enough?
So for me, I believe the more you have, the better it is. But if you want a number, so you can put your at least 4 to 5 best projects, right?
Hmm.
4 to 5 best projects onto your resume, and then you can also put your GitHub link where you have all the other projects as well. So for me, the number has always been 4 to 5, and you prioritize them according to the difficulty. So
Hmm.
it's your the person who is basically viewing your resume, right? The HR or anyone will always have a look at the first project. So do not add a very easy project, or a project which does not have a good design, or a good code base. Just add your most refined project at the top, and then the second most refined project, the third most refined project, something like that. You should always have a live link for your project as well, and a GitHub link for
Hmm.
your project as well. Like live link basically means where your project is actually been deployed or hosted, somewhat like that. So that was,
Absolutely.
and we can also also talk about what kind of projects or what type of projects you should have, right? It should actually uh, uh, how do I put it, should basically cater different categories, right? For example, let's say I'm talking about web development. So you could
Hmm.
make a project around a social media app, right? Something like a Twitter, something like LinkedIn, something like that. You could make a project which like a health tracker, like something like that. You can make a project like something like an Airbnb, like a very complex one. Something like Google Keeps clone, right? Not the
Hmm.
repeated projects, because e-commerce becomes a lot of repeated. You can One of the best projects I always feel has been something called as a component library, right? If you have seen Tailwind or Bootstrap, I think you might have seen all of these things. So if you could make your own version of Tailwind, Bootstrap, that actually showcases that you can also style and design all of these things. So similarly goes for data science and all the things, right? If you can
Hmm.
create your own data set and upload it on Kaggle, that could be one project,
Okay. That would
right?
be my next question. How would you upload a artificial intelligence or machine learning project, right? But Kaggle,
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah,
for
so you
sure.
can load your data set on Kaggle, right? You could also, uh, build chatbots. You can use that data set you build and create a chatbot out of that data set, right? That could
Hmm.
also be, and you can also use that data set and create a project like data analysis as well. So you have created one data set and you are using it for multiple projects. You're just showcasing your skills, showcasing how well you can handle different scenarios as well. So just think about it in this way. of to show you can handle different categories and different ways, and you will you will stand out any day.
Awesome, awesome. So this
Right.
kind of answers why I couldn't find a job 2 years ago, because all my projects were on GitHub, none of them was live, and I was expecting to get a bombastic job. Okay, this is a good one.
Right.
Awesome. So my only question here is, in university they teach us that a Jupyter notebook is a good format to get a job in data science. If tomorrow somebody applies and they have a Jupyter notebook instead of a live website, does it count?
Now it depends upon the interviewer, how
It's
good
a
he
hard
is.
question. I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
it's a very difficult one.
Mm,
How much time does the interviewer has to go through the Jupyter notebook and check
exactly.
everything? But they do not have that amount of time, right? Uh, because when we write code, it's actually a huge code base, right? It's not just 2 3 lines of code. It's somewhere around goes, even if it's 70 80 lines, no one is willing enough to check it, because the
Absolutely.
process done by someone who is a non-technical person, right? Not
Hmm.
technical person. So if you just give them your Jupyter link, or something like that which has your code base, they'll basically not be able to understand what it is, right? Not be able to
Exactly.
comprehend what it is. So you just have to come up with a live link, just put your project over there, so that they'll be able to understand what actually your project is doing. That is important.
Absolutely. So make sure that even a 6-year-old can view your website, basically.
Exactly, exactly.
Be prepared that the person who is checking your resume is not necessarily a programmer. Some folks, they study HR. It's a completely different field, human
Hmm.
resources. So definitely keep that in mind when you apply. Awesome. Awesome.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for these answers. This is great. Next one. What type of companies are more likely to hire you without hands-on experience? So is it the big companies like Amazon and Microsoft, or is it small family startups?
So both of them hire, like even the big time companies, they hire you
Okay.
without any hands-on experience. So see, why are they hiring you without any hands-on experiences? Because of your skills, right? And you actually have a lot of hands-on experience when you start building projects. The
Hmm.
only thing that you're missing is polishing and the way the code is written in a company, right?
Okay.
So let's take you for an example. Let's say, Maria, you have built 5 to 6 websites, right? Now, and it is an end-to-end website, right? It's basically having a backend, right? It's having a database, right? And it has a front end as well. It has everything, right? It has
Hmm.
everything. So you basically have hands-on experience because you have been making projects. The only thing that you lack basically is the way it's been approached by a company, the way the code is written in a company, the
Hmm.
variable names that they decide, for the name of the functions that they decide, or the documentation that they make. That is what is missing. So in today's period, this concept of hands-on experience has actually changed a lot. That's why companies rely on freshers. They give big time packages. You might have heard even freshers getting a package of 1 crore, or 30 40 lakhs, right? I do not know what is the conversion in dollars, but in Indian rupees, it's a very very big amount, right? Even if you
Okay.
do the math, it's a very very big amount of 50 lakhs, 1 crore rupees. Now why do they get all of these things? They get it because they are very skilled in whatever they do, and company actually can rely on them, because the company just needs 2 to 3 months in order to just refine them and polish them. So that's a process. So that's why even big time companies like Google, Amazon, and even small time companies are actually hiring freshers and then giving them training for like 1 or 2 months, and they are ready to work on projects and what products.
Awesome. So you start as a junior and you then keep climbing up and climbing up the
Right,
chain. Awesome.
right, exactly.
Another important detail that I just want to reiterate is that a project consists of a back end, a front end, right? So we're talking about a database, which is
Hmm.
something that not a lot of my projects on YouTube have, but
Hmm.
recently we started to connect databases as well. So this is important, okay? Even if you're not applying for a full stack developer, that's still something you need to know, right?
So not necessary.
Hmm.
Suppose if you, because development is a two facing, right? It's a front end developer and a full stack developer, right? So if you're just applying for a front end developer role, uh, you should have good knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React JS or any other library of framework like Angular or Vue.js or jQuery, something like that.
Hmm.
And you should be able to actually understand to how to get response from an API. That is actually very, very important, right?
Okay, it
So
is
you,
important.
yeah,
Wow.
that is important. So it's not important for you to create your own backend, or create your own database as a front end developer, but it's important for you to understand how the backend is working and how you can get a response from a backend API. That is very, very important. But as a
Mhm.
full stack developer, you need to know everything. The front
Absolutely.
end, the back end, how to create your own API, how to connect to the database, and all of these things. As a full stack developer, you need to know. But for a front end developer, just getting a response, that's enough.
Absolutely. So basically, the ability to fetch data.
Right,
Awesome.
exactly.
Awesome. And then use it within the website. Perfect.
Exactly, right.
Great. Now the next question is very, very open. It's up to you, and it consists of top 3 tips to land the job of your dream. It can be less, but top tips.
Okay. So the first step is to believe in yourself, right? So
Mm.
I'm not going to say anything technical, because I know a lot of you might be knowing all of these technical jargons and all things because we've been discussing. I'll just talk about what the non-technical thing is. The first thing is to believe in yourself that you can do it, no matter where you are coming from, no matter your academic credentials, no matter your financial status or whatever it is. If you believe in yourself that you can do it, you will land
Mhm.
your dreams or whatever it is. Because I think one of the greatest man India has ever produced, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he said that dreams basically do not let you sleep. Dream is not what dream while sleeping. Dream is what you see with your eyes open. But you can see that I am going to go at Google, I'm going to go at Microsoft. That is your dream. You can see it
Mhm.
through your eyes. So if you believe in yourself, you can actually do it, because there are a lot of resources available out there, right? You can't say I didn't get the resource, or I didn't get that, or this and that, because there is so much free resource. Maria is doing such an amazing job, putting all of her content on YouTube for free. You can just go there, watch her content, get at least a basic job, a basic idea. That's the first thing. Believe in yourself. Second is to stay consistent, right? You have to
Mhm.
do it every day. The way you do your daily routine, you eat every day, you talk to your parents every day, your friends every day, you do your daily thing every day. It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be a routine that you are practicing every day, each and every day, even if it's for half an hour, be it half an hour also. But if you do it every day, if you stay consistent every day, you'll see difference in yourself, right? It's like going to
Mhm.
the gym, right? When you go to the gym, you don't see it in the first month, but from the next 2 3 months, you start seeing your bodies being into different shapes, get cuts and all the things, you become bulky and all the things. So it's, if you be consistent, then only this can happen. you know
Mhm.
the third point is to the right approach at the right time. To When I say the right approach at the right time is basically, right now a lot of companies in development are using React.js.
Mhm.
So it's wise decision to learn React.js rather than learning something else, right? Secondly, even for backend, a lot of companies using Django, they're using Node.js. So it's a good thing to learn Django and Node.js rather than learning PHP and WordPress. So
Yeah.
to take the right approach at the right time. So these are my 3 tips, to land a dream job. And you have to have the skills, you have to have the projects, right? These are the secondary things, but the skills and project will only come if you be consistent, if you believe in
Mhm.
yourself, and you take the right approach at the right time. Otherwise, no matter how much you struggle, you'll always keep on struggling and never find your way out. So that's how basically it actually goes, and this is the harsh truth. You have to digest it, and you have to go with it only. That's
Awesome. Awesome. So let me summarize it. So number 1 tip is confidence. Number or dreaming, believing that you can do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Number 2 is consistency. Actually, I have a my favorite writer, Hiroki Murakami. He has a book about
Mhm.
how he writes. Basically, it's a very boring book, but I read all of it. And he's
Mhm.
saying every day, even when I'm not writing anything, I'm sitting in front of the same table. Even if I
Mhm.
don't have any ideas, I just make sure that I keep up this routine, because if I stop, that's it, it's done. I really like this tip. And the last tip is make sure you are learning the current solution or the most
Mhm.
efficient solution to the problem you're trying to solve. Yeah, this is really
Right.
cool. Now we are getting some viewer questions. We can definitely move on to this. Let me just turn off this banner here, and
Mhm.
hopefully, you guys have a bunch of questions there. I've noticed one, but yeah, but let's see if there's any more. Oops, sorry. Question one. I'm senior from the business area supply chain, and I'm starting in Python data science, machine learning. Is there any demand for head of data with my experience?
Yeah, there will be. There will be because of the experience that you'll bring in. You have been working into the business area, and data science or data. So when I say data, it's I'm collecting data from the business as well, right? So let's
Hmm.
let's take any brand. Let's take a bigger brand. Let's take H&M, right?
Okay.
So H&M is a big brand in India. Is it a good enough brand in Canada?
It's
Uh,
amazing, brand in Canada. We
yeah,
have
yeah.
plenty of H&M stores.
Yeah. So there's one of my a friend's friend, okay, who he works in H&M as a data analyst, and prior to this he was into the business area, doing business, understanding the client's requirement, understanding the business requirement, and then he started learning Python and all the things, and then after learning Python he applied all of his business knowledge into as a data analyst. So now he's working as a data analyst at H&M, right? So
Okay.
because you have prior experience of understanding the customers and the data, you can apply that experience and that analysis. So when you get a set of data, you will basically do some analysis, right? Data analysis. So once you get that data, you can see what is the current trend, and with your past experience you can actually predict what basically could happen and what let's say the price discount that we could put, or with different offers that we could come. So uh, Carlos, so your experience will count a lot. The business area experience will definitely count a lot.
So some fields you can transfer your experience. It counts
Right.
in both categories. This is great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
supply chain, we do need a lot of it here in North America. I don't know if you've noticed, we've had some issues with that. Carlos, please come to Canada.
Yeah.
Help us solve it. Awesome. Let's move on to the next question. And thank you so much for Tom for the super chat. Tom is a moderator. He's a really awesome guy. Cool. Thank you so much, Tom. I had to mention it. Okay. Question number two. How to get an internship as a high school student? Oh wow. I know Django, Python, JS, and PostgreSQL, and more things. Is it even enough? I also have some projects of my own. How to apply? It's a good
So
question.
code speed actually knows a lot of things. Like when I was in high school, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know. I didn't even know JavaScript. I didn't even know anything about coding. After my degree, I got to learn all of these things. But Django, Python, JS, Postgres, so many things. So you can easily get internship uh, at companies. So there are a lot of companies which actually provide internships. Like we also provide internships. So you can
Mm,
apply on our website as well, Geeks for Geeks. We have a lot of internship in the as a mentor, as an MTS, as a content creator as well. So you can basically just apply, just have a good resume, showcase your project as I told you before as well. Mention your projects, mention your top 5 projects. It should have your GitHub link, it should have your live link wherever it is hosted or deployed, something like that. Put it in your resume and just search for uh, uh, companies which actually provide internships. So even if you look at these big time companies like Google and Samsung, they actually have a lot of challenges which actually goes on. They have a lot of, Google has their Google Summer Challenge, right? Samsung
mm,
has a lot of different challenges as well. Microsoft has a lot of different challenges as well. You can check out on that, because if you have these many you know knowledge of these many technologies and frameworks and libraries, you can easily crack their challenges and get onto them. So I don't know where you are from, but in India we have a lot of websites like Intershala, which actually provides a lot of internship opportunities. So you just have to go on through and search for, if whichever country you're from, just search for internship opportunities in your country, and you'll have different lot of websites which actually provide them. But the
mhm.
important thing is about your resume and your projects. That's very important.
Absolutely. So code speed, start making some projects. Go ahead and start working and start applying those skills. Get them to practice. Get them
Mhm.
to hands. get some hands-on experience through your projects, and then try to get those internships. I know that internships are really nice for companies because they don't pay you anything for this.
Right.
Usually. Apprenticeships, it's something different, but internships, at least in Canada, is something that you volunteer for to gain experience in here. But definitely, and it sounds like you might want to add Prakash on LinkedIn. You can find his social media information in the description on YouTube. Definitely check him out. Maybe apply for Prakash's team.
Yeah, we
Maybe, who
pay
knows?
we pay money. We
Oh,
do
you
not
do?
give we do not have free internships. So it's like it's basically the company's value to value people with their job. So whatever they are doing, we just value them and pay them whatever is they are producing. So
Amazing.
that's what we do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is great. Now, there is another question that we actually had in a previous stream, and I promised to ask it for this stream, and Josh reminded me that. Josh is also a moderator. A good question up top was, what do you do if you aren't fluent in English? Is there any solution to this, or should you have to be fluent?
uh, so uh, this actually is a topic of discussion where so suppose if you go to companies like companies in Europe, and especially in Germany or all of these places, there the preferred language is always German, right? They because of the crowd, and they actually love their language so much, they actually are always speaking in their language, and that's how it is. It should be. But if you come to a lot of other countries like US, Canada, UK, even in India as well, English is actually required.
Mhm.
So if something is basically acting as an hindrance or an obstacle, so it's better to climb it and just remove it. So you start practicing and learning English day by day. That's how you do it. So it is actually required in a lot of countries. Some countries it is not required. So it's better to be prepared, rather than uh, not knowing anything. But it's better to be prepared about and just learn English. That's what I'll say. Learn it.
Absolutely. Communication is key. If you don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
communicate with your team, it's going to be a problem. So if you're not fluent in
Right.
English, you can apply
Mm-hmm.
to local jobs in your
Mm-hmm. Right.
country, basically, because everybody
Right.
knows at least one language.
Right.
Besides Python, of course, we have to know
Yeah.
Python as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great question because we get it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People are really excited about the world of coding, and they're looking for jobs in Microsoft and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But before you do so, please have a few courses in English. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be an expert, right? But the best advice I can give you, as somebody who came to Canada, I didn't speak, like, I spoke a bit of English. Actually, I'm not a good example. My spouse is a good example. He came with very bad English, very bad. And at first, as he started working, he was a hairstylist, which requires
Mm-hmm.
a very good English because you're in communication with your customers all the time. He learned English so fast you will never believe it. So once
Mm-hmm.
you're being thrown into the water, you don't have a choice. If you don't
Right.
speak English, you don't speak. So you must learn it.
Right. Right. That's it.
Yeah. So a good way to solve it: move to an English speaking country for maybe a month or two. Start communicating. Surround yourself by English speaking people, and that's how you learn
Mm-hmm.
it better. Um,
Right. So there are actually ways you can start reading books in English.
mm,
You can
mm,
listen to podcasts in English, and then
absolutely.
find the meaning of the words. You start listening to English songs. That's how I learned. So even back in India, we are actually raised, by speaking a regional language. So in India, there are a lot of languages, right? So the
Mm,
first language that we always learn is what it's called as a mother tongue in India. So my language was Telugu. So I'm a South Indian, so I come from down south. So my place is Andhra Pradesh. So I we started speaking in Telugu, then Hindi, and then since I live in Mumbai, I used to speak Marathi as well. So till the age of 15, 16 years, till the time I was 15, 16 years old, I never spoke English with anyone because I used to only speak in all of these languages. In my school, we just used to say, "Good morning, Miss. May I come in, Miss? May I go out, Miss?" All, and that was it. But sooner or later we figured out that we have to learn English because we have to go to companies and work over there, and the medium of communication would be English, because in India there are people from different parts of India, and we the one common language in India is Hindi, the other one is English. So the way I learned is by reading books, listening to podcasts, and listening to English songs a lot. That's how I
Mhm.
learned.
Awesome, awesome. For
Yeah.
sure, music is a great way to speed up your learning.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Especially
Hmm.
good music. Awesome. So we have another question. I am a two second year CSE undergrad from India. So land a summer internship, an internship in future. And what languages do I need to learn to pursue a career in full stack software? So we kind of covered it already.
Yeah.
React JS. How important is React in that field?
Very, very
Very.
important.
Learn
Very,
React.
very important.
Okay, so JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, and learn how to fetch things from an API. Okay.
Right, right. Even Node.js and Mongo.
Mhm.
Since you are as a full stack developer, Node.js, even Django would also do, because a lot of companies use Django as well. Then database, you can go with MongoDB or Postgres or even SQL. So you will
Mhm.
become a full stack developer.
Awesome. So MongoDB is not a relational database. It doesn't have the traditional table
Hmm.
structure. It's
Hmm.
very free. I haven't had a chance to work with it yet, but I'm really looking forward.
You
It
should, you
sounds
should.
really cool.
Yes, it
Awesome.
is.
Let's see what else we have here. We have Mike. I'm considering a hybrid profile, but I'm also good at UX UI. Companies expect a full stack to make nice interfaces. We kind of also answered on that, eh?
Yeah,
Front
we.
end development. You can apply for front end jobs. You don't have to be a full stack developer for that.
Hmm.
Awesome. Let's see what else we have here. Um, let's see. Sorry, guys, reading the comments as I go. Okay. Hey, I am a data science enthusiast and I'm unable to get that questioning ability from the data sets. I have a strong practical coding skills. How to get that questioning ability? What is questioning ability? Prakash, did
Let
you
me read.
understand?
No, I'm just reading
No.
the question. Hey, I am a data
Sorry,
science
Dipesh.
enthusiast.
Uh,
I'm a data science enthusiast and I'm unable to get the questioning ability from data sets. A
hmm.
strong practical coding skills. How to get the questioning ability? Any tips? Questioning ability from data set. Questioning
Maybe
ability from data set.
quarrying. Maybe quarrying. That's what.
No, he's.
No.
I don't think he does not. I'm not able to understand the question.
Mhm.
Questioning
Yeah,
ability from.
sorry.
I thought questioning ability with the seniors or at the company with the managers, but
Hmm.
from data set, not able to understand the question. Dipesh, can you please reframe it so that we could take the question?
Awesome. Let's see what else we have here. How to manage a continuous failure in any new project, all new technology during a job or personal project. How to continue be optimistic, probably, right?
Yeah. So the good answer to this is sometimes you need to take some breaks, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you just need, suppose if you are continuously failing in one project, it actually, degrades your morale a lot. It downgrades your morale, and you just think you can't actually do it. So the best thing is, to just, keep that project aside, take a break from that project and work on some other project. That's
Mhm.
one piece of advice that you could do. uh, and work on that project, and once you finish the other project, you can just come back to that project with a fresh idea, because
Mhm.
you basically are doing a new project. So when you do a new project, you basically are getting different ideas in your head, and then when you come back to your old previous project, you basically are coming with a fresh mindset with new different ideas. So there are possibilities you can actually crack down the problem that was happening there. The other way
Mhm.
basically could be to watch people who have already made such kind of projects. Let's say you are making an e-commerce and you're actually struggling a lot, failing a lot, and you do not want to watch any video, something like that. But then even if you're not able to figure it out, just watch them how they have made it, and then try to compare your problem with their problem, and you could actually find your solution. But the first advice actually works a lot, because that happened with me also. During my initial days, I used to get stuck a lot, right, with some of the projects. So what I used to do is just leave that project and then work on a new project. So I have a new mindset. My mind is fresh now. Once I complete the new project, I'll come back to the old project and work on that project. So, and I have got a lot of result with that. So I can give you that advice to do that.
Awesome, awesome. Another thing I
Mm-hmm.
would like to add to this is have some support from the community. Have some people that you can
Mm-hmm.
talk to that keep you motivated. We do
Mm-hmm.
have a Discord community. I guess you guys on Geeks for Geeks also have one.
Yeah, we
And
have.
it's basically a way to communicate and get motivated together. So you
Mm-hmm.
can share with the
Exactly.
world, hey, I'm failing on this. Even if you're not necessarily asking a question, just have some support from people around you and programmers that will tell you, don't worry, keep going, keep doing this. It's very important. I wouldn't be able to do this channel without my friends on Discord. That's absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Cool. Let's see. Now I'm struggling with the questions because they're oh, okay. So Deepesh, okay, he has a clarification. How to frame the right questions to be answered during data. So in terms of research, when you're researching something, how do you come up with the best questions for your research?
How to frame the right questions to be answered
It's a
using
tough
data.
question. It's a tough
Yeah,
question.
let me just
Yeah.
think. How to
So
frame the right. Yeah, if you want to go ahead with this.
I think that basically start with the type of data you're working with. So if you're working with a recipe data, if you're working, if look what your data consists of. So for example, recently I had a project in my university that was basically choose a type of data set, web scrape it, and then make a tiny bit of research about it. Now in my case, I went for the recipe database, which I've used for my Tkinter application. I just made a nicer, much nicer database than in the Tkinter project. And basically, I had some information about cuisines from all around the world, and each cuisine has its own special ingredients. So, my question were in terms of what ingredients each cuisine is using. The reason why I asked this question is because I had both the information of the cuisine type and both the information of the ingredients in the recipes. So the question always depends on your data from my perspective. So you cannot ask a question that your data cannot reflect, and any question works. If you'd like to, you can start from one question, you can then develop to another. It's basically what are you curious about when you're looking at this data set? That's how I find it, but I'm just a student.
Right. So, so another example of this could be basically, let's say, uh, we are doing this, Stack Overflow survey. So, have you heard of this thing, Stack Overflow survey? Where
Mhm.
Stack Overflow basically has a survey uh, every year. Basically, the survey is to find out the current programming language in trend. What are people from different countries using? Which countries using which programming language? And all of these things. So, let's say when you have some a Stack Overflow survey data, you just have for the first question, how to get questions is you ask questions your own self, right?
Mhm.
So what you are actually getting from this data set, right? uh, if I look at the data set of Stack Overflow, what do I get to know? I can get to know which programming language is in current trend, right? The top 10 programming languages in the world, which country is using which programming language, how much salary does a data scientist make, how much salary does a developer make. So I'm basically getting to know all of these information. So whatever information you are getting, you convert that into question.
Absolutely.
That's a very basic simple rule. So just look at that, just look at the data set, and just try to figure out whatever information you are getting, whatever information you get from the data set, just make that a question and write the code accordingly. That's one
Awesome.
simple rule for that.
Awesome. Now I think we'll go to the next question because I'm finding it very hard to navigate through the questions. There's lots of chats, there's lots of comments, requesting courses.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm gonna pull out the last question. This one is about from Code Speed as well. This is, I guess, is a follow up to the answer we gave him the last time. So any tips on making a good resume to get an internship? Because we told him have a good resume, but what a good resume consists of, and what kind of projects would you expect?
Okay.
Okay. He wants to apply for Geeks for Geeks, by the way.
Okay, cool. So a good resume is one which is very simple, does not have a lot of points. So the
Mhm.
first thing your resume should have is basically a summary about yourself, not your career objective. So back in India, a lot of people have this bad habit of writing their career objective. No one is interested in your career objective. Okay, they are only interested whether you can do their work or not. That is what they are interested in. So first is your summary, right? What is your background? Like suppose if you are a student, so you can write CS undergrad, and in whichever year you are in, let's say second year, third year, something like that. And then you can also write about your skills in your profile summary, right? Whatever programming languages whatever libraries frameworks right, something like that. And if you have contributed to some open source, something like that, you can also mention that in your profile summary. Or if you have some good ranking on lead code, or on even on
Mhm.
our on something like that, you can also mention that as well. Lead code, hacker rank, all of these things you can mention in your profile summary. Then comes basically your educational, yeah, then comes your projects, right? Just make that a second thing, your projects, right?
Mhm.
Don't add your education as well, right? Make your projects, 5 projects with your GitHub link and your live link. Then basically would actually come your skills as well. What now, when I say skills, I'm not talking about soft skills, I'm just talking about technical skills, right? Then basically would come your educational qualification, right? Your academic credentials, what you're doing. And there's no need to make those borders and lines. Just write in one single line. That is enough, right? And then you can also add your achievements as well, right? When I say achievement, do not write that you won in a running race in your school time or your college time. No, I have I have seen those resumes, so do not add all of those things. So you can add something which basically catches the eye of the interviewer. Let's say in India, IIT is a very big thing, Indian Institute of Technologies, or
Mhm.
big time college. Let's say MIT, or any other colleges. If you basically got some acknowledgement from them, or even participated in a competition of MIT or Harvard or even Google as well, right? Let's say you participated in in Google's hackathon, or in Google's summer
Mhm.
challenge, in Microsoft challenge, you can mention that as well. If you have a good rank on lead code or hacker rank, you can mention that as well. Your number of problems that you have solved, you can mention that as well as your achievement. So make your resume only fine and crisp, something like this. That's enough. Add your email ID, add your number, that's it. The interviewer is not also interested in your hobbies like cooking, listening to music. Not at all interested.
That's
Just
another problem I had with my resume back in the day.
yeah,
I love
we
hiking and kayaking. Nobody cares, Maria. Nobody cares.
no one cares, because
Can you
when
code?
yeah, when I scan resume, I am not interested in whether you love to cook or you love to dance or sing, because that's not going to do my job. My job will be done by your projects, by your skills, by your achievements, whatever you have done related to that field. Even if teaching, right? My biggest achievement is teaching 30,000 plus students. That's a very very big achievement that I have till date. So
It's
I also,
huge.
yeah, I always mention that I've taught 30,000 plus students. Few couple of my students who were just 11-year-old, 12-year-old, they were competing with undergrad students who were 20, 22 years old. So that was
Wow.
an achievement for me. And at a very very big college in back in India, it's called as IIT Bombay. A lot of
Mhm.
Indians who are watching this might actually know about IIT Bombay. So my students were there, got selected in top 10 projects over there. So I mentioned all of these things, that it's through me, right? So this is my personal achievement as well. So wherever there is a name of a brand, do mention that name, right, in your resume. It basically catches the eye of the interviewer. So that's basically few tips. So I'll just summarize it. One is your
Mhm.
profile summary, right? Second is the number of projects. Third basically is your skills. Fourth would be your academic credentials, and fifth would be your achievements. And add brands, right? Brands like Geeks for Geeks, brands like Google, Amazon, Hacker Rank, Lead Code. Add these brands if you have it. Even if participation, it works well. It basically catches the eye of the interviewer. So these are a few
Awesome.
tips. Yeah.
So if Code Speed is trying to apply for Geeks and is doing all your daily challenges and practices, is that something you should mention in his resume?
Mm, he could mention the number of problems that he has solved.
Mhm.
He could mention that as well. So
Awesome.
because that's actually a good thing. You've solved 4,000 problems, 5,000 problems, and he is someone who is actually, we could actually you know uh, give a chance. And 4,000, 5,000 is a very big number. I told even 500, 1,000 is a good number. Just
He
4,000,
doesn't have a lifetime to do it, yeah.
5,000.
Code Speed was sitting down, shuffling his nails, freaking out. But yeah, 500
Right,
is good.
right. 500 is good
Awesome.
enough. Yeah.
Awesome. Another last question. You did mention the word soft skills. Do not mention your
Mm.
soft skills in your resume. What do you mean by soft skills?
So when I say soft skill, it's basically about uh, good communication skill, or something like able to work under pressure and all of these things, or can gel with people easily. So these are something which is basically asked during an interview. Like when you have a face to face interview, they'll actually ask you your strength.
Mhm.
Then you can mention that I have a ability to work under pressure, but then you have to also mention a situation as well, right? That
An
okay, I was
example.
in an example that I was in this situation and I handled this situation in this way. So a supporting example for your strength, right? Even if it's your weakness, let's say for me the weakness would be, let's say, I eat a lot, right? That could be a weakness. So and then my immediate answer should be how I'm basically managing it, right? I'm actually cutting down on sugar. I'm actually uh, you know thinking it subconsciously that I'm eating a lot. So whatever you give, even if you give your soft skill, your strength as an strength, whatever you say, supported by an example, that would
Mhm.
actually help a lot.
Perfect. Awesome. This is great. I'll tell you
Right.
why. Because you gave me all the reasons why employers never got back to me. The reason why I started Python Simplified is because I couldn't find a job and I didn't know
Hmm.
why. I'm such a good candidate. I have such amazing personal skills. How come nobody hires me? Well, I've been telling everyone that I'm a multitasker, I have great communicational skills, and I put it at the top of my resume. So folks, these tips are amazing. I should have met
Hmm.
you many years ago, Prakash.
You met me now.
Absolutely. Well, it's better now than ever. Cool.
Hmm.
So definitely check out the description. Check out Prakash's LinkedIn profile. Check out Geeks for Geeks. It's an amazing portal. Check out their
Hmm.
job section, their practices. Check out their courses as well. Uh,
Hmm.
it's a really nice platform to get advanced on your skills. And yeah, apply all
Hmm.
the tips that Prakash gave you, and let me know if you are able to find a job as a result. I think
Hmm.
you also would like to hear that, right? To see examples.
Absolutely, I
And then
would.
you can add it to your achievements. I helped Maria's channel
Yeah.
to find jobs. Awesome. Thank you so much, Prakash. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Maria, for having me over here and having Geeks for Geeks, giving us, this time and opportunity to share. And I hope this, this relation continues, and we actually come with these sessions, impromptu sessions like this, and helping, developers around the world. And just like to end up this by saying that, uh, whatever you do it with all your heart, right? When where your heart is, your mind will always be there. So do it with all your heart, and keep following Geeks for Geeks. There is a lot of things. We also have a Discord community, and all the things that Maria said about Geeks for Geeks. Thank you so much. Follow Maria as well. Subscribe to her channel. Subscribe to our channel as well, Geeks for Geeks. You can find our channel on YouTube. There are a lot of child channels as well on development, data science. So whatever you want, you can follow these child channels and parent channel as well. And we promise we'll give you the best content uh, ever.
Awesome. One thing I didn't mention, please like and share this stream. Your likes are helping to spread the world and help other developers get their first opportunity in high tech. Again, thank you
Mhm.
so much, Prakash. It was a great honor having you on board. Thank you for all your tips. I already have here comments saying, please have more sessions like that. We will for sure. We'll stay in touch. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
having you on board. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Ah.